welcome to this special video. This video is basically to help you how to proceed with your assignment. So if I open this assignment question for you, then there are two parts basically. The first part is question one is saying that you need to implement a shell, my shell. So what is shell? This is a shell means this terminal you can consider as a shell means you can type any commands and it is executing, right? Sorry, this is just let me clear it. So this is a terminal. So terminal you can consider as a shell because I can write any command here. If you have a program, you can type a dot out, you can compile anything using GCC, or if I go for a grep command like grep minus -inr, and if I want to search main, okay, star, I can give any command, it will search main in all these files in this folder. Okay, so what the question number one is, you have to design your own shell like this, and you have to name this using by your my shell. Okay, that will be an independent shell. You have to write it independently using C program. That is the first thing. And what this shell should support, that see here, the shell should exactly look like the one of your Linux terminal. Okay, so every time your shell should open like this. For example, if I open this shell, see there is it is open in current directory, so your shell should also look like this. Okay, and so if I have a shell program already here, so if I run this shell program, okay, before running it, let me clear everything. So this is my shell program, it is already running. So if a shell program is running, see, once I run this program, it has created the own shell file, own shell script. Now it is running in my own shell script, oh sorry, own shell file. Okay, and from here it should execute anything. Let us go back here. What your this my shell should support? It is written from here. Any illegal command, unrecognized argument should throw a meaningful error. Means if I try to run here, suppose pwd, pws invalid command name, so it should give you a proper error. Then this is not supported or what? Okay, and then my shell should support exit command. Yes, if you type exit, then it should exit from your your my shell program. My shell should also remember the recently used commands. That is also important. Recently used command means if you go for up arrow, down arrow, it should remember all the recently used command. Let me go for some more command. My a, B, C. These are not unrecognized command, A, B, C minus B, but still C. So now if we press up arrow, see it has stored all this history. This is also a special property of the Linux shell, right? Means if you have typed some command now, then you can just use up arrow and down arrow, and this history is stored there. So what I am expecting that your shell should also store some history, and so that if I go for up arrow, down arrow, it should recommend me all these recently used commands. Okay, and the last part is very important. Last is saying my shell should capable of executing any Linux command, or you can say any can be as most of the Linux command. If some of the Linux command is not possible, then you can consider as a most of the Linux command using system. There is a function called system in C, which you can use to execute any shell command. Means inside system, if you write ls, then C program can execute ls. Inside this C program system function, if you write pwd, then the system can execute pwd shell command. So you have, first of all, you search the purpose of system function in C, and then you will understand that how system function can execute any Linux command. So what I'm saying is that your my shell, this shell should capable of execute any shell command using system function. Means what? For example, suppose if I want to execute a function like for example, I want to execute copy, or for example, I want to execute ls command. If I want to write ls, right now it is not executing because the demo project that I am showing is not capable of doing everything. But for example, if I write ls here, it should execute ls command. But there you no need to do anything for this, only you need to execute the system file. Means in the moment I type ls here, what you need to do is you need to execute the system function with this command ls, then ls will execute. So so this line is looking complicated, but it's very easy. What I'm expecting that you just need to type and command, at that command you need to run with system function. If you run the system function, then it will automatically execute your shell command. So any shell command, if it is pwd command, then what I'm expecting that use this pwd and execute the system function, and that's output of the system function will be displayed here. Then that is actually the output of execution of pwd command in shell, or it's a linux command. Okay, so I think the my shell is clear to you what you need to do here. My shell looks like exactly like your terminal. Okay, you should show correct uses of any command, hence implement a help command of your Linux command. So you have to also implement a help command for all these things. Let me see if the help is already here or not. Help help is not here. You have to implement it according to your requirement. And one more thing here is your my shell should support to execute any linux command, right? Any linux command means ls can support, but you have to remember that with ls there are some options also coming, right? Like minus l, minus s, like this. So how to handle all this? How to handle minus l, ls minus l, how to handle ls minus ls, and all these things. So these are options can be handled with the parameter that this called option opt, get opt. I think if I remember, I have explained how to use get opt. There was a small portion in some of my lecture, I forgot in which lecture, but I've explained the purpose of get opt. It was not written in book. I said you have to understand it from website, right? From internet. So you have to use the property of get opt to find and to collect all these parameters, all these options after any command. Okay, why I'm saying it is required, because it will be required in next question. So the next question is, if we go to question 2, then you have to implement all this linux command here from your own shell. That the shell that you have designed here, see, this is my own shell executing. So in from this shell I have to implement all these commands: ls, ps, cpm, move, and grep. So maybe you will say that, sir, what is the difference between question number 2 and this line? Yes, it is conflicting, right? Here I am saying that your my shell should be capable of executing any linux command using system, and in question number 2 I am saying that you have to implement all these things. So your question will be, why I need to implement, because I am already implementing it here, right? But actually the difference is you are not implementing anything in this line. In this highlighted line you are not implementing anything. You are just taking the command and then executing it using the system function, right? Means any linux command you are just taking as a scanner from the user and then just running it using a system command. So that's not the implementing that command. You are using system function to use it. Here what I am saying in question number 2, you have to implement all this command by yourself. You are not allowed to use this system command here. You have to implement it from the scratch. Okay, that's why it is written. The commands are to be implemented explicitly using c and should not be executed via my shell process, and should be executed via my shell process. Use of an already existing implementation of this command in bash or any other shell is strictly prohibited. What I am saying here using this line is, means if I highlight this line is saying you cannot use this type of functions like system or all the function which can be used to directly implement a linux command. You are not allowed to use all these things. You have to implement it by scratch. You should implement at least 4 or 5 options of each command. What I'm trying to say here, that is 4 or 5 options, means minus ls minus l, minus l is a option, s is a option. So at least you should check that all these command ls, ps, cp, mb, grep, all are actually linux commands. You can go and check all these linux commands, check their manuals. If you want to study more about them, then just search in internet. But at least you should implement these commands with at least 4 options: minus l, minus any option. There should be at least 4 options to implement it. Okay, And if you see here, hint is written, use read line and get opt functions. Why the read line and get opt functions are required, I will not explain in detail, but you have to find it out. It is also a part of your assignment. But the hint is, if you use read line and get opt functions, your life will be easy in doing this program. So a short video will be uploaded. So I'm, as I promised, I'm uploading a short video for this. The submission process will be informed later. So I'm after implementing it, maybe on 28th December, I'll share a submission site for where you have to submit your code. But always remember that it may be possible that I will check this code myself and I'll not involve TS. It may be a possibility. And if I check the code, I'll ask you thorough questions. And if I find that there is a copy case, then it will I'll give you zero. Maybe it will go for negative also. But if you have if you could not able to complete the assignment, but still if I find that you have if there was a effort involved from your side, I'll consider it. So implementing honestly, and if it is not completed, it is understandable. But if you have not means put any effort and you just try to copy it from other, then this will be handled very strictly. And those I am requesting also that those who can do it properly, who can complete all the assignment properly, do not share your code, because sharing the code is not a healthy environment. But if you want to share your idea, it is welcome. Means if any of your friend asking you that how you are implementing, you can share the ideas, no problem. You can share the logic also. I am completely fine with all these things, but don't share your code. Sharing the code is not it's not a healthy thing. Okay, so now uh, the part remains is I have shown you a demo of question number one, but I have not shown you any demo for question two. Let us show you a demo for question two. So let me exit it again. Clear. Okay, so this folder, you can see there are some files. I'll not open any of this file, because if I open this file, you will have an idea how to, but I'm not giving you an idea how to implement it. It is your task. Okay, so here what I'm saying, there are this is the main function, read line. See, there are many header files include. This is my ls. What is my ls? My ls is actually here. It is a part of question number two. In question number two, there was a question to implement ls function, right? So here I have renamed it. I have not said it is ls, it is my ls here. It's not ls, my ls. So it's actually I am my own implementation of ls. You can also name it like this, my ls. So, and there is the argument parts are, this is the get opt file, which is parsing all these options and all. So it's not mandatory that you have to follow all these files and all. It is up to you how you want to do it. Yes, very important part is try to use makefile. I hope I have explained the concept of makefile to you also. So it is obvious that in this assignment you will have a multiple files in a folder. So, and maybe if you want to go there, maybe subfolders also, multiple headers files also possible. So use a make file to compile it. Don't just go for GCC, because when I will download your code, when I'll say to upload your code, I'll most probably I'll give you to upload a zip file for your complete project. And that zip file, this remember this, note this point, that zip file must have two things. One is readme file, means how to compile your code, and second is there should be a make file. I'll not go for a long GCC command to compile your code. There should be a make file, so that I should open the folder and just go for make, and the program should compile. So this thing is not in written in assignment, but remember this is a part of your assignment. Okay. Okay. So now let me run my own code, a.out. If I'm running this code, then you can see my ls is running. So this is question number one. After question number one, this shell is completely working, and any Linux command should work from here. It is not working here because in this code, this is a demo code, and I have not implemented all this part. But my ls is implemented here. In question number two, the first requirement is implementing ls. So I have implementing ls, and I name it as my ls. So if I press my ls, see, my ls is showing what is the purpose of ls, to display all the file in the current folder. So it is showing all the file in this folder. See, all the files written here, it is showing here. in myls. Okay, so myls should also execute, and see the up arrow is also working here. So I have implemented a history also. Up array myls, if I go for minus l, see it is printing exactly same as ls minus l. Okay, so if I go to different options available, so any ls command must have a manual. So I have also written a manual. If I go for man myls, okay, see it is showing the manual. It is showing the manual. So if you go to top of this manual, it is showing, see what are the options available here. It is showing here, see I have implemented all these options. With my ls, you can go for minus a, ignore entry starting with dot, minus c, minus g, minus capital G. Okay, minus r, minus l, all these things I have implemented. You can take a screenshot of this also. Means what are the options I have implemented. As I said, you should implement at least 4. See, you can go for minus capital S is for sort by size. Okay, so let me try sort by size if it is working or not. Man my ls, sorry, I'll go for my ls now, minus capital S. It is sorting according to size, but it's not clear. So let me go for, if I go for my lsl, then it is showing in detail. So I want to show in detail also, and I also want to sort it according to size. It is not sorted according to size, see. So in this case, what I will do, minus l and s, so it is sorted accordingly. Okay, uh, so you have to use all these options and implement my ls. Let me show you some other options also. If I go here, uh, sort by modifying time. So if I go and search ls, if I go for lt, then it is sorted by modifying time. So all these options you have to implement. So this is just my ls, and if I press up arrow, now it is showing all the history, right? So what are the basic things required here? See, this get opt, how get opt need to be used here. See, you can easily understand that after reading the line, you have to parse this opts here. Means there may be ls, or here I have written ls. If I write sl, there will be no change, same thing is printing, right? lsl. So options can be written in any order, but you have to collect it and you have to parse it according to your requirement. So I hope I am able to explain you what I am expecting from your side, that you have to implement. This is just ls. Similarly, you have to need to implement other commands like ps, cp, mb. These are very easy commands. You can easily implement all these things. Only you need to the ps is fine. For cp and mb, you need to just understand the basic file command. Using file, if you understand the operations of file, you can use cp and mb. It's not a problem. And then grep command, it's a little challenging, but that's why I have given you additional four, at least 3 marks extra. Means not extra, but if you go for how many marks are there, question number 1 carries 3 marks, 7 question 2 carries 7 marks. Out of 7 marks, there are 3 marks for grep command. uh, um, I'll upload a point here. Means I'll upload a small note in Google Classroom also. I want to reduce this 3 mark to 2 marks actually, because otherwise you will spend less time on this LSPS, CP, and MB. So there will be 5 marks in question 2 for implementing LSPS, CP, and MB, and only 2 marks will be for grep. So here these 3 marks can be considered as 2 marks. Okay, so implementing grep will give you implementing grep has a separate 2 marks. If you don't implement grep, then question 2 will be evaluated only for 5 marks. Okay, so this is a change I'm announcing here. The same thing I will also announce in Google Classroom. And what else, anything remains here? So I have explained the manual also, that my ls has a why it is not my ls. Okay, so it is showing manual. And any other thing, I think I have explained everything. Now a quick hint how to implement it. Okay, how to implement it? Do you have any idea how to implement? I'll just show you a small starting point from where you can start. If you remember the stat configuration of in the in the last week, I have uploaded three lectures, right, in last Sunday. In one of this lecture, I have give you a hint how to start implementing this. And there was a structure, means if you want to read the stat file of stat means metadata of any file, then you can use this stat structure, right? So what you have to do, if you want to read any metadata for a particular structure for particular file, you have to use a particular structure. The structure was defined there, it's called stat, right? And there are the function also defines stat. So using that stat function, you can, if you execute stat function with a particular file name, all the metadata of that file will be stored in a structure variable. What and the structure variable was, maybe I'll open this quickly. I'll not show you the complete code. Okay. uh, Structure file, you can use similar code. Okay, no, let me minimize it, otherwise you'll get more hint. Okay. So I'll explain it theoretically here. So as I was saying, that for any file, if you go for stat function, you will get all the metadata stored in a structure variable, right? So what you need to do is, if you go for ls command, then there are many files there. So first of all, you have to collect all the files there in a directory. So if you remember how to read the directory content, that also I've explained you. So that option is also required here. I mean, basically, first of all, when I command my ls here, you have to go find out the current directory, and you have to list all the file names in an array or any data structure if you want. And then one by one, for all this file name, you have to execute the stat function, and then you'll collect all the metadata, and then you have to store in a data structure. It is up to you who is data structure, but basically you can use the array of structure. Okay. So once you have all the metadata of any all the files stored in this directory, then this job is simple, right? You need to, if you want to go for my ls minus l, then you will print it in this format. Printing in this format is up to you. All it is parsing and c compiler, c printf logic. If you go for minus ls, then what you need to do, you have to sort it. You have the complete array of structure, every data is there. If you want to sort it according to time, sort it. If you want to sort it according to size, sort it. Everything is there. You can sort it according to time. Okay. And if all the information is stored in the structure array, you can use array of structure, but it's just an example. You can use any other data structure also. At the end, what I'll see, that your program should work accordingly, according to my requirement. That is important. And only thing that I'm again explaining you, that don't be confused with these commands. Means you will find many solution in internet. What they will do, that they will somehow call a function from c, so that the linux command can be executed directly from your code. That will not be acceptable. You have to start everything from the scratch. See how I have explained, that first of all, you have to collect the current directory, then you have to read the directory using c, find out all the file names, and then you have to go for ls, collecting in metadata information of each file, stored it in a data structure. Then from where there you have to implement process it. I need this type of implementation from your side. So this should be clear. Okay. So I hope you have understood that the assignment is very simple. Means on the whatever logic is required here is just the simple c programming logic plus whatever I've explained in class till date. All this concept will be enough, but thing is not easy. Why? Because you need to do a lot of code. Small things is also important. Why? Let me give an example. Even after collecting everything and store it in array of structure, displaying it itself need time. For example, you have to convert all this permission thing to this format, read write format, right? it is actually stored in a bit vector. So from bit vector to how to convert it to this, you have to write a function for this. It will take some time. Okay, if you want to print this time, I have shown you a code, right, for modification time, last access time there in millisecond. You need to convert that into this format, isn't it? So this format you need to write a function for this also. So yes, it's information is there, collecting information is fine, but processing them and showing it in a proper format needs additional functions, and that functions, writing that function also needs time. That's why I'm giving you 10 days, more than 10 days. So you have to start implementing it from right now. If you think that okay, I'll implement it in last means in 1 week or maybe in 2 days, that is not possible. Idea is simple, but you need time to implement it. Okay, so each and every point that I'm said will be checked during the evaluation, and I'll there will be separate mark for all these things. And since this week I have not uploaded any lecture, why? Because I'm expecting you to understand whatever I have explained till date, and you should be familiar with all these things and start implementing your assignment from now. Okay, and also prepare that next week I'll upload four lectures, and it lectures uploading lecture will start from Tuesday only. So between Tuesday to Saturday I'll upload four lectures, and again same thing will repeat in next class. Okay, and I'll not discuss anything more about assignments. That's this is the final thing I am explaining here. If you have any queries, any doubt regarding your implementing of assignment, you can ask me in Google Classroom, or you can send me individual email also. That is also fine. I'll clear your doubt. And one more thing is, during the live session I'm seeing that there is no student, only your class representative represent that complete class. So from this, what I'll assume is that you have no doubt. Whatever I'm explaining, it is clear to you. That only I'm concluding, because at the beginning I said that the live session we have to drive by you, not me. My job is to uploading the lectures and all. You have to understand this lecture. If you have any doubt, you have to ask me in live lectures. I will not do anything new in live lectures. So if you are not coming in live session, and you are so I'll assume that everything whatever I'm explaining is clear to you. Okay, so I have received two mails, individual mails regarding some doubt in signal. So I was not getting time, but hopefully within 2 days I'll reply you back. I'll clear your doubt. But from next in next two live sessions, I am expecting that you should be there and ask questions. If you don't ask question, then again, as I have said, I'll assume that everything is clear to you. But if anything is not clear, start asking question. If you ask question, maybe if the question is not logical also, but it's not a problem. It's not a problem. So I'm not expecting that you will come to the live session and you will ask very smart and logical questions. It's not like this. Whatever coming in your mind, you can ask, assuming that it's a physical class. It's not like that. If you ask some question and if it is not logical and all, then I'll think that what this is the not a standard question. I'll never judge you like this. If whatever comes in your mind, you can ask. But yes, don't ask that which question will come in your exam. In exam, I'll not answer in this type of things. Whatever hints required, I'm giving. See, the assignment I've uploaded, but all the necessary steps I'm explaining here. I think this is enough from a professor side, that I'm explaining you and I'm showing you a demo of my assignment, and I'm expecting that you just need to replicate what I'm showing here. Okay, so I think there is nothing new to explain. All these things I have explained here, so I'm stopping this lecture here. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubts, let me know through email or through Google Classroom. Thank you for watching.